what's been your most challenging experience so far in your entrepreneurial journey?
Oh, such a tough
I know.
question. To be honest, at the time, so let's say about 8 years ago, it was really how expensive it was to start. My license was 25,000 dirhams. I was totally self-funded. I did not have wealthy parents, or I didn't have parents to fall back. I was here totally on my own, always have been. So I didn't have family. I was living salary to salary. I had a great salary at the time. It was almost 40,000. Did not save almost anything, which is why today I always tell everybody, please just save. Like, don't do the mistakes that I did. I was living on the edge, like there's no tomorrow,
Yeah.
And that was the biggest challenge, just how early I was at wanting to be a self-funded entrepreneur. Sometimes as an entrepreneur, you are too early. And I was definitely too early. So I had all the stacks up against me from there was no freelancer licenses. There was nowhere near what we have today. There was no co-working spaces.
Way.
There was none of this. There wasn't podcast studios. So that was the challenge. I started too early. There wasn't yet, the UAE, Dubai didn't really have a blueprint, and they still don't. It's still being made. So I was really having to, make new ground, So that was hard.
I think being in the industry we're in, we deal with a lot of people. And I know from my personal experience, one of the people that I worked with on an event, I thank them now because they made me realize where I dropped the ball, to the point where I trusted that person thinking they were authentic. And I came to realize they were so disingenuous. And I learned a lot from that one experience, that it changed everything about how I approach a project, a new client, or an event. That makes me even more interested to know, what has been the biggest game-changing experience that shocked you, disappointed you, but helped you totally pivot the way that you show up in your business?
Oh my God. I was really deeply backstabbed by someone. And as my good friend says, I was even front stabbed too, because she made sure to tell me as well.
Wow.
I was, and it still hurts till this day. And it is because it involves, she became very close to someone quite famous and quite known. And it's someone that I've looked up to a lot. His name is Gary V. And this person got to where she is today, working with Gary V, by really backstabbing me and using everything that I literally gave to her. And that was, I think, on my second year of House of Social, or third. So I was still pretty green, You're very green when you begin. When you begin, you think you're going to take over the world, which you need that. You need that energy. But you're so green still. Like, I look back now and I'm like, I was so and this person came in with a very good game, She really got me. And she took everything that I gave her to get the job that today she has. And she knows, because whenever she's in town with Gary V, she will hardly look at me. That hurt deeply, because it involves someone that I adore. I grew up with, I can't say I grew up. I guess I grew up my internet years with Gary V. Learned, I've been following him. It's going to be almost 9 years now. He means a lot to me. So to have someone backstab me, do that so horrible, that pain, but then also see this person close to someone like him who preaches from the rooftop about love and kindness, and to see that those two together, that hurts till this day. It hurts, especially when I hear her name, or when people tell me something, or maybe she's in town and maybe she'll even watch this podcast episode. She knows exactly who she is. It's a horrible pain when someone take from you and step on you, and you see it. And wow, that has been one of the most painful things. What did I take from it, or what can I take from it? I think, to be honest, the pure simplicity that there is really sharks out there and they don't think twice. And I think that's really hard to grasp, but that's the truth. We all talk about how there's shark people and there's mean people, but it's when you really get bitten by one
Yeah.
that you really go like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
This was a big chunk. That was, it's painful, and it's an ugly reminder of how ruthless people can be. Now, you might ask me, hey, Alex, do you regret maybe having said so much to this person? Because I opened up so much, right? Like I opened up, I gave so much. Do I have some regrets about that? Would I now give advice to people? Let's say, hey, maybe don't be such an open book. Maybe be careful. It's hard to say. I think I would just say that it's the closest people to you that will be the ones that can hurt you the most, because you became very close.
Can I
It's not the stranger. It's not the stranger there.
I think
the
it's
closest people.
I think it's the closest people that can hurt you the most, because you allow them to get into you, into your head, into your heart. And funnily enough, the person that I learned my biggest challenge was the same person. I think we'll have a conversation outside of this, because the same person that I experienced, that they came to me and asked me to do an event for them. And the whole concept was, let's do revenue share. I have a huge database of people. I've got this. They're willing to pay X, Y, and Z to be with me. Blah, 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 blah. And I was like, okay, cool, let's go for it. Because of the background she comes with, I felt the same as you, like, okay, let's go. And I was in it thinking, let's go. No contract was signed. I went fully into it thinking, she's legit, authentic, and let's see what happens. Later on, we come to realize there's no database. There's so many things that went wrong with this that I should have pulled out. There was no contract, so I could have pulled out. But my ethical way of being said, when you put your name to something, go with it. And you'll learn a lot. And boy, did I learn. It took me 2 months to vent this out of my system. And I didn't publicly put it out there because I was like, I need to heal first.
Same.
And then I still have never named the person ever.
Same.
To the point where I'm like, I don't need to.
Yeah.
And I remember having the conversation when we ended that night. And she even approached the people who we worked with to basically say, you know what, just send me the footage. And I mean, fully well, she's not going to pay them. And she shouldn't pay me for anything. So I'm like, look, I had a conversation with the people who I trust, and they trust me, and they literally came to me and said, who is this person you're working with? Because they're very dark in the way that they're approaching you. They're bad-mouthing you. They're standing right in front of you, and they're saying all of these things in Arabic to me. And I'm sitting there thinking, I remember I sat down with my cameraman, and I just cried. And I said, 2 days, we've been running this workshop. I've put people in there so that she doesn't look bad at the end of it. And I've been accused of stealing her content. For what?
What do I want your content for? Second, you're stealing people, like you're asking them to give you their work, and you know that I'm not going to give it to you because you're never going to pay them. This is how you choose to show up. That conversation we had, I said, I wish you the best of luck. Enjoy yourself. Please don't ever contact me again. And we're done. And they never contact me again. So I have this, I understand that people can hurt you if you allow them to, but I take that and I use it for I never change the way I am because I'm not allowing that person to have the power over me. But I made myself a lot smarter when it comes to decision making.
Yeah, we're like more radar, alert.
I won't be brutal. I won't be dishonest with myself, because if I feel aligned to helping someone, I will, and I still do. But I'm a lot more aligned to understand, read the person. Are they giving you good vibes, or is your intuition and my intuition, I swear to you, Alex, it was saying to me, walk away. Walk away. And I was like, nah, I'm just scared to maybe do this. This is maybe this or this or this. Maybe it's just she's going to be big and I'm too scared to make what? No,
I didn't even have intuition at that time.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I didn't even have. I think I had marketing and business intuition, which it's one of my biggest strengths. And I think that's what really got me to skyrocket really quickly on my first and second year. So in terms of marketing, I think I had a good sense of what I was doing. With people, I don't recollect really having that sixth sense yet because I really was in pure honeymoon stage of I was at my prime to literally be bitten by big sharks because I was so open. Like I was
That's so beautiful.
Yeah,
to be.
exactly.
I think you were just too open without
Yeah.
having your, street smarts activated at that time.
Exactly. Because I was so open to everybody. I was so giving. I mean, I stood up on the stages of my early master classes and I said, I want to build the first social media school in the UAE. Like I was proclaiming what I wanted to do. And I believe in this narrative. I love this narrative because it creates great storytelling. I love vulnerability. I'm very comfortable with being vulnerable. And I've never been one to hide. I actually believe in go forth and, you know, claim that thing you want to go for. There's something, I think there's a lot of strength attached to that, even though it's quite vulnerable. So I was putting everything out, but I didn't have that. My first 1 year or two, my sixth sense with people was really clouded. My marketing and business sense instinct, I think were in a pretty good place, but not with people at the time. I was like loving everybody. Yes, you can help me. Yes, you work with me. Yes, this. I was on a yes, which I say it's a great advice. Yes, yes, yes,
But
yes.
be discerning with who you say yes to.
But you know what? I really just even think for anybody that's watching and maybe they are a young entrepreneur or they're thinking about wanting to be an entrepreneur, I want you to fall. You got to fall in those first years. It's going to give you that. I think if you have really easygoing first years when you start, you might really have
quite a shock
when
it hits you.
When it starts to hit you. Like when things started getting a little bit more harder, I didn't feel them as much because nothing can be compared to my first 2-3 years. Like even now when things are tough, it's kind of different tough things.
Sure.
And it's almost like I have an airbag now where I'm like, dude, nothing can be harder than when they told me I couldn't have long blue hair and be a consultant in the UAE because, you know.
Yeah. You've been there, you've experienced it, and you know that that's just it. And as the saying goes, this too shall pass. So even if it's a hardship you're going through, you will get through it.
Yeah.
Hello, what happens once you get through it? We don't know. You might have to close the business. It might not be for you. Maybe you need to start a new venture. We don't know.
Yeah.
But you will get through it.
Yes.
It's just having, like you said, those important qualities, that resilience.
Yeah.
And that, optimistic attitude with a big dose of realism to keep going.
Yeah.
And you will. I think it's just once you have that belief in yourself, you can do anything you need. And I know we're sounding so like fluffy and in the class, but it's true.
Yeah.
These elements are real.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing that. God, it feels like it's very therapeutic to share all of this stuff. And that's an interesting experience we both. Tasjil.ae are the fastest growing UAE domain and hosting provider. Exclusive only to FabDXP subscribers, benefit from 50% discount on their hosting services by using the promo code FabDXP. Just visit tasjil.ae and you can elevate your online presence.